Hi students, welcome back to my channel Evolve Solving Physics. Today we are going to discuss the addition of vectors in graphical method, and we are going to discuss about laws of vector addition. So these are the two topics we are going to discuss in this class. So laws of vector addition means, I said that vector means a physical quantity should have magnitude and direction and should obey the laws of vector addition. So that we are going to discuss in this class, that is laws of vector addition and how two vectors can be added in graphical method. So these are the two topics we are going to discuss. First, suppose two vectors, that is p bar and q bar, these are two vectors. So here you can observe that these vectors directions are same, but their magnitudes are different. So how we can add these vectors? So what tail, tip or initial point, and this is the final point. So how, if two vectors are moving in same direction but with different magnitudes, so how we can add this? So the second vector initial point should be joined with final point of first vector. So this is the first vector. So the second vector initial point, this is the second vector initial point, should be joined with the final point of first vector. This will become the q bar. So now draw a arrow from initial point of first vector to the final point of second vector. This will be the resultant vector. So r bar equals to p bar plus q bar. So if two vectors are moving in same direction but with different magnitudes or same magnitudes, if they are moving in same direction means second vector initial point or tail should be joined to the final point or tip of first vector. That is the first point. And second, draw a arrow from initial point of first vector to the final point of second vector. That will be the resultant of vector. So resultant of vector is represented by capital R bar, that is equal to p bar plus q bar. This is the graphical method when two vectors are moving in same direction. First, suppose if two vectors are moving in different directions or making some angle, so in the same way. So if two vectors are making some angle, so how we can add the vector? So how we can find the resultant of vector? First, here I am considering p bar as first vector and q bar as second vector. In the first example also, p bar as first vector and q bar as second vector. When you are finding resultant of vector, there should be no change in the directions of vector should takes place. The directions of vector should be same. So you can observe that this is the q bar, there is no change in the direction. P bar, there is no change in the direction. In this way you should find the resultant of vector. So if two vectors are making some angle, means in the same way second vector initial point should be connected to the final point of first vector. So I connected this. Now I said that draw a arrow from initial point of first vector to the final point of second vector. This will be the resultant. This will be the result, and this will make an angle. Okay, so the resultant should be connected with initial point of first vector to the final point of second vector. So this is the resultant of the vector when two vectors are making with some angle. So here some vectors are moving in same direction, and here the two vectors are not making any angle here. So you can observe that here there is a straight line, that is first vector, another is the slanting line. So if any slanting line is happening, there will be a angle made by the two vectors. So the resultant can be found like this. So r bar equals to p bar plus q bar. I said that what is meant by vector means, so a physical quantity which having magnitude and direction and should follow the law of vector addition. What are the laws of vector addition? So one physical quantity should obey all these laws of vector addition to form a vector. Okay, so first law of vector addition is vector should obey vector addition obeys commutative law. So p bar plus q bar is equal to q bar plus p bar. This is the first law of vector addition. So vector addition should obey commutative law. So next, vector addition obeys associative law. So p bar, q bar and r bar are three vectors. So associative law means p bar plus q bar of plus r bar is equal to p bar plus q bar plus r bar. This is the associative law. So another one is obey. So vector addition obey distributive law. What is distributive law? So k1, k2, k are scalars. So I said that scalars is represented with an alphabets. So how distributive law can be written as k of p bar plus q bar, or p bar and q bar are two vectors. So this can be written as kp bar plus kq bar, and p bar of k1 plus k2. k1 k2 are scalars. So p bar k1 plus p bar k2. So distributive law means two vectors and one scalar can be used, or two scalars with one vector can also be used to obey the vector addition of distributive law. So these are the three laws of vector addition which you should be remembered, and which is important for your multiple choice question in your examination. So laws of vector addition means, so vector addition should obey commutative law, associative law and distributive law. So to form a vector, so a physical quantity should follow these three laws to form a vector, and should have magnitude and direction. And some of the important points based on vector addition. So vector addition is possible only between vectors of same kind. So vector addition only possible when the two vectors of same kind. If we take two vectors of different kind, the law of vector addition, the vector addition is not possible. So if you find the vector addition, the two vectors should be in the form of same kind. For suppose if you add two vectors, two equal and opposite vectors are added, the resultant will be null vector. Just remember that I said that when two vectors are moving in same direction means we will get the resultant by connecting second vector initial point to the first vector final point. So if two vectors are moving in opposite direction, this is a bar and this is the minus a bar. Minus a bar means negative vector. I said that how we can denote a negative vector is minus a bar. So if two vectors are moving equal magnitudes but opposite direction, but due to opposite directions, when you add these two vectors a bar plus of minus a bar, it will becomes 0. This is the resultant, that will be the null vector. So equal magnitudes but in opposite direction, the resultant will be the null vector. If any vector is multiplied with a null vector, it will become null vector. So multiplying a vector with a null vector, the resultant will be null vector. So null vector with a vector, that will be null vector. And if you find the magnitude for the null vector, magnitude of null vector is 0. Why magnitude of null vector is 0 means its direction cannot be specified. So null vector direction cannot be specified. So magnitude of null vector is 0. So this is about addition of vectors and loss of vector addition. So if you have any doubts, please comment me in comment box. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.